The murder of William Goebel, Kentucky's controversial governor. William Goebel wasn't your average politician. He wasn't content with simply riding the tide of Kentucky's political landscape. He wanted to change it, and he did in ways that angered many. Born in 1856, Goebel came from humble beginnings, but he quickly rose to prominence, securing a seat in Kentucky's state senate. Throughout his career, Goebel built a reputation for his tough, combative style of politics. He wasn't afraid to fight for his vision of Kentucky, a vision that ultimately put him in direct conflict with the state's powerful elites. His defining moment came in 1900 when he ran for governor. The election was bitter, the stakes high, and accusations of fraud flew. Goebel's opponent, William S. Taylor, had the support of many of the state's influential figures, while Goebel, running on a populist platform, was determined to break the system. And then, on January 30th, 1900, just days before the inauguration, a shocking event would alter the course of Kentucky's history forever. That morning, as Goebel entered the Kentucky state capitol in Frankfort, a gunshot rang out. The bullet struck Goebel in the chest, a wound so serious that it left him fighting for his life. He was rushed to safety, and despite being severely wounded, Goebel remained defiant. In the days that followed, Goebel was declared the winner of the election, a decision that enraged many of his political opponents. He was officially sworn in as governor while lying in his deathbed. But the question remained: who was behind the shooting? Was this a politically motivated assassination? Was it a lone gunman with a grudge? Or was there a larger conspiracy at play? Theories about Goebel's murder spread like wildfire. Some believed the hit was ordered by powerful political figures who saw Goebel as a threat to their control over the state. Others suspected members of the opposition party, including supporters of William Taylor, who would stand to gain from Goebel's death. The investigation into the crime was flawed and contentious. Numerous suspects were put forward, including a man named Jim Howard, a former Goebel supporter, who was arrested for the murder but later acquitted. Some believed Goebel's own political rivals were behind the shooting, and there was even speculation that the entire event might have been a setup to provoke political chaos. Despite the intense scrutiny, no one was ever definitively charged, and Goebel's death remains one of Kentucky's greatest political mysteries. While Goebel's assassination did little to resolve the political tension of the time, it certainly left its mark. In the aftermath, Kentucky's government was thrown into disarray. Protests and violent riots erupted, and the state's political structure was forever changed. The story of William Goebel's assassination isn't just about a man dying. It's about a moment in history where ambition, power, and political corruption collided in the most violent way possible. Goebel's death marked the beginning of an era in Kentucky politics where questions of legitimacy and justice would never be fully answered. As we wrap up today's episode, it's clear that the legacy of William Goebel is one of unresolved questions, unpunished violence, and political upheaval. His murder remains a haunting reminder that, in the world of power and politics, some stories never have a neat ending. Was it a random act of violence, or did the hand of political manipulation and corruption reach out and silence a man whose views threatened the establishment? The answer, it seems, remains lost to history.